Hello, my bomb blowers and module masters, and today I am here with another Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes modded module tutorial, and today I am here with the module Perspective Stacking. Perspective Stacking is a boss module, and it is a very perspective heavy module. As you can see here, we've got a 5x5x5 cube, of which we're going to be doing various manipulations onto. You can tell by the thumbnail, and maybe you've heard this thrown around sometime, but this module is like a 3-dimensional 2048. Let's go ahead and get started. This module does not require a lick of etch work, but I probably have the HUD on for this tutorial anyway. Whoops.
There is only one.
All available experts, please report to room A9.
Yeah, I do. Whatever. Okay. So, for this tutorial, I'm going to be looking at this module to show off how the module works, and I'll be using the one in the bottom left to demonstrate the strike behavior. So, the module has... It's pretty metallic looking. You've got, namely, a 5x5 grid, one square of which will be colored either red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, or yellow, and you've got a display on the right here. The display will show the total number of stages, as well as the current stage number that you are on. It will have a number from 1 through 5 in the middle, and then it will have 6 arrows, one of which will be darker than the others. So, what do we do with this square? For each stage, the read is as follows. So we're going to note down that the highlighted cell is green. It is an alpha 1. And because it is a 5x5x5 cube, each coordinate will have 3 components. So it's alpha 1. The standard coordinate system this community uses is that columns are A through E, and rows are 1 through 5. And then, because it's 3-dimensional, we've got to account for the z-axis, and the z-axis is the third coordinate. The z-coordinate is going to be the number on the display, which means that the first stage's coordinate is green at alpha 1, 3. We're also going to note that the piloted arrow is pointing down to the left. So, without further ado, let me bust out Bricklink Studio. In Bricklink Studio, I have recreated this 5x5x5 cube in the manual from this perspective.
Emergency
In
clear.
each stage,
All personnel,
we're going
please return to
to
stations.
find the cell, the cube even, at this coordinate. So, alpha 1, 3. The last coordinate's going to be which of these 5 walls here I'm going to be looking at. So this is wall 1, wall 2, wall 3, wall 4, and wall 5. We're looking at wall 3 here. And then now that we're looking at wall 3, pretty much wall 3 is going to mirror exactly what the module shows you. So on wall 3, alpha 1 is going to be green. Additionally, in each stage, you are going to be moving all colored cubes in a particular direction. You can either move them to the left, which means that all cubes are going to go towards the leftmost column, or the rightmost column if it's pointing right. It can point up or down. If it's pointing up, then all bricks are going to go to the top row. If it's pointing down, all bricks are going to go to the bottom row. And then if it's pointing down left or top right, if it's pointing down left, we're going to go towards this wall. And if it's pointing up right, we're going to be moving all cells towards that wall. For this stage, it's down left. So we're going to move all colored cubes towards the front wall. So this green cube is going to move to here. It's moving forward between the walls. That is its current position, and its old position is going to go away. Now let's solve a module and progress to the next stage. Stage 2, we have cyan at Bravo 3, 4 to the right. So, find the 4th wall, and color Bravo 3 cyan. That would be this cell. On the 4th wall, this is cell Bravo 3. And we're moving all of the colored cells to the right. So this green cell is going to go all the way over here. And our cyan cell is going to go from this column to the rightmost column. So it's going to go... Oh, not there, my bad. It's going to go here. And this cell will now return to white. Now, do note that the white cells are not actually white. They are empty. These cubes are just kind of floating inside of this 5x5x5 cube here. It's just a little space that all the cubes can take up. And if there is no color cube in the space, then that space is just empty. Okay, let's solve another one. We've got red at delta 3, 5 going down. On the fifth wall, cell delta 3 is going to be red, which would be here. This is red. Did I color something in the grid red? No, I didn't. Okay, anyway. And removing all cells down. So this green's going to go from here all the way down to here. This cyan's going to go from here all the way down to here. And this red is going to go from here all the way down to here. Alright, next stage. We've got magenta at echo 2, 3, and we're moving upright. So on the third wall in cell echo 2, which would be this wall, and this is cell echo 2, we're going to paint a magenta. And we're moving upright. Moving upright means we're going to be going from this wall to this wall back in. The red cell's already at the back wall, so we can't move it any further. This cyan's going to go here. This green cell is going to be moving forward. It wants to go here, but the cyan cell's already there. So it is going to go behind the cyan cell, and it's going to go here instead. The magenta cell is going to be able to move forward to here on the back wall. So that is that stage. Let's move on. Next, we've got yellow at Charlie 4, 1, moving up. So in the first wall, cell Charlie 4 is yellow, and we're moving all of the cells up. This purple cell, a magenta even, is going to go up here. The cyan's going to go up as much as it can, which is going to be here. Red's going to go all the way up to here. Green will move all the way up to here. Okay. And yellow's going to move all the way up to here. Next, we have magenta at echo 2, 4, moving left. On the fourth wall, cell echo 2 is going to be purple. There is a chance that the module will tell you a cell that is already colored. That is not echo, that is delta, before I get a strike for some silly reason. It would be here. Anyway, so for example, if this stage, if the magenta cell was actually an echo 1, 4, echo 1, 4 is already taken up by this green cell. So if it wanted us to put a magenta cell here, we would just override the green with a magenta. But that's not what it wants us to do, so we're going to keep it green. There is one more interaction that I have not gone over, and I'm gonna see if it will show the interaction on this module, but if it doesn't, I'll go ahead and explain it with an example. Anyway, back to this. On the fourth wall, delta 2 is purple, and we're moving everything towards the left. So this yellow moves all the way left to here. This green will move all the way left to here. This purple will move all the way left to here. I keep calling it purple, I mean magenta. This red-purple group's going to move all the way to here. And to select multiple cells in Bricklink, I'm going to hold control while selecting all the cells. And I will have to remember to put a link to Bricklink in the description. I recommend it for this one. I prefer it over the Digital Designer because this is much easier to deal with coloring the different bricks different colors. The good Digital Designer has all of the separately colored bricks as different pieces, which is why I don't prefer it. Anyway, we move this cyan all the way left to here, and that is stage 6 done. Now, something that I like to do that I haven't yet gone over, I'm going to make a new document here, and I like to keep track of the number of cubes. Like I said earlier, we can overwrite a cube, but if the model tells us a position of a cube that's already taken. I have no idea why the cyan cell decided to become uncolored, but anyway. And then the other interaction that I didn't tell you about earlier is going to also take away one of the cubes, if it happens. Okay, so that's stage 6. Let's go ahead and do stage 7. Blue at alpha 3-4, moving right. On the 4th wall, cell alpha 3 is blue, and we're moving everything to the right. So this yellow moves to the right edge. This green's gonna go all the way to the right. This magenta will go all the way to the right. This blue heads all the way to the right. This magenta red group will move all the way to the right. And this cyan will move all the way to the right. So we have 7 cubes in our grid so far. Next, we've got blue at alpha 5-5, and we're moving towards the right. So in the 5th cube, 5th wall even, in cell alpha 5, it's blue, and we're moving everything towards the right. This is mostly done because we had right on the last stage, so all we need to do is make sure that our newly placed block is on the right edge, which it will be now. Alright, let's move on, make sure that says we have 8 cubes, and move on to stage 9. In alpha 3-1, oh my bad, blue is in alpha 3-1, and we're moving up. So in the first wall, cell alpha 3 is blue. I'm going to make sure to increment the cube number at the beginning of the stage. And all of the cells will now move up. So this blue will move towards the top. Did I accidentally uncolor something? Should have 9 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't have 9 cubes. This group moves up, but because it is already as up as it can go, it can't move any further. This blue cube needs to move to here. It can't go into the differently colored cubes, so it can't move up any further. And then this red cube is already at the top, so it can't move any up further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, move on to stage 10. Red at echo 2-1 and moving down left. So in the first wall, cell echo 2 will be red. And we're moving down left. So we're going to be moving towards the front wall. And I can already tell that this state is going to have the interaction that I was telling you about earlier. So these 3 cells are already at the front wall. We have to move green and purple towards the front wall. So green's going to move to here. And then magenta's going to move to here. Red's going to move all the way up to here. Purple and cyan are going to move up to here and here. And then, with these blue cubes, forgot to increment the cube number at the start of the stage. So, with these blue cubes, they're going to move to the front. So you would expect it to be blue here and here. However, when 2 cubes would end up merging, and they are the same color. So this blue would like to move forward towards this wall. Because these 2 blues are the same color, they will become one. So this blue cube will merge with this blue cube to make one blue cube. Meaning this blue cube disappears. And we are left with 9 cubes remaining. This will happen between any 2 cubes of the same color. So now that I've gone over that, let's go on to stage 11. It is red at echo 5-1, and we're moving up right. Oh boy. So on the first wall, cell echo 5 is red, and we're moving back to where we started. So we've got purple, green, yellow moving towards... Oop, nope, don't do that. Purple, green, and yellow. This red moves all the way back here. This blue is going to move all the way back to here. Cyan, purple, red's going to move to the back. Cyan, magenta. Did that just cover something? Nope. Anyway. And red. This blue is going to move all the way back. This red's going to move all the way back. I needed to increment the cube number at the start of the stage, and let me verify that I have 10 cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 10 color cubes. So let's move on to the next stage. Cyan at Charlie 3, 4, and we're moving down. So in the fourth wall, cell Charlie 3 is cyan, and we're moving down. So this purple, cyan, blue group is going to move down here. So purple, cyan, blue. This red cell is going to move all the way down to here. I gotta remember to increment the number of cubes at the start of each stage. So yellow and red move down to there. Green and purple are going to move down here. And blue is going to move down to here. Should have 11 cubes. This is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 cubes. Oh, I forgot to move cyan here down. He would go down here. And that's 11 cubes all at the bottom. Stage 13. Green at Delta 5, 1 moves left. So the first wall, cell Delta 5, and moving everything towards the left. Increment the number of cubes, and let's move left. This green cube is going to move towards the left edge. Yellow and red are going to move from the right to the left. So yellow and red. And these two go away. Cyan purple is going to be on the bottom row of the fourth wall. Green's going to move on over to here. These two red cells are going to end up merging when they hit the blue cell. Which means we're down to 11 cubes. And then these purple, cyan, and blue cubes are going to move to the left edge. And that's our ending grid for the stage. So let me verify that I have 11 cubes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, final stage. Blue at Echo 5-4, moving right. On, this is the default orientation. In the fourth cube, cell Echo 5 is blue, and moving everything towards the right. So green's gonna move on over to the right. Yellow and red are gonna go to the right edge. Purple and cyan are gonna smack into the blue. Green's gonna go over here. Red and blue are gonna hit the wall. Red and blue. And then blue, cyan, and purple are gonna hit the wall here. I forgot to increment the cube number at the start of the stage, but we should have 12 cubes. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, we've got 12 cubes. Let's get into submission. So, in submission mode, you'll notice that there are two numbers here. So we're going to be submitting our 5x5x5 cube at a certain orientation. I have the walls separated here, but you can imagine that in the actual cube, all of these walls would be close together, but I have them separated to have it easier to visualize. So these two numbers are going to give us the orientation at which we need to view the cube. So the top number is going to give us a number of times to rotate according to this diagram, and the bottom number is going to give us a number of times to rotate according to the bottom diagram. So we're going to rotate in the top diagram one time to where we are, where this little guy is going to be. He is facing the, I would say, what would we call that? If this is front right, this would be the left side. And then we're going to rotate twice according to this diagram. So he's looking at the left edge, and we're going to be moving clockwise around this axis. So instead of looking at this side, we're going to rotate twice. He would be looking at the front and then the right side. And according to where his eyes would be, they would be at the bottom. So our orientation which we're submitting is the right face with the bottom of the cube towards the north. So this is how the cube is normally, and we need to submit the right face with the bottom up, which would be looking like this. So we're going to go ahead and fill in all of these cells. So we've got red at alpha 1 and Charlie 1, blue at alpha 2 and Bravo 1, green at Bravo 2 and Echo 1, cyan at alpha 3, magenta at alpha 4, and yellow at Charlie 2. We are not done yet. We still have a lot of cells that are white. So what we're going to do is take away this face, and then look at the remaining cubes and see if there are any cubes in positions that we have unfilled. We have blue and magenta here at alpha 1 and Bravo 1, but those two cells are already filled, so we're not going to be modifying them. However, if this purple was at delta 1, we would be filling delta 1 with magenta. And you can probably tell, but I'm pretty sure we're not going to be filling in any more cells here. Cyan here is in Bravo 1, which is taken by blue, and then there's nothing else to fill in here. So yeah, this is pretty much it. We're going to submit this. And that is a solid perspective stack. But the bomb hasn't solved yet. Oh no! There's a perspective stacking I missed. What am I supposed to do now? Like all good bosses, this module has strike recovery. So let's go ahead and have fun making a little face in the grid, shall we? Let's see. Let's give him some nice little eyes. Give him a blue nose and little green smiley face. I hope this is right.
Not the answer, I'm afraid.
Ooh, it's not right. So if you submit an incorrect configuration, it will briefly show up with some red and green cells. Green cells correspond to cells that were colored correctly, and red cells correspond to cells that were colored incorrectly. It doesn't show up for a long time. I'm probably going to ask Xish to have that grid show up longer, maybe make the display selectable with a toggle to this part. But as you may have expected, after it shows you the grid of correct and incorrect spaces, it's going to show you all of the stages. The stages scroll pretty fast, however, it does not stop scrolling stages. As you see, it will go from 14 back to 1. And to re-enter submission mode, press submit again. Now, if you notice before we submitted, the two numbers on the right said 3-3, and when I go back into submission, they're different. Now it's 2-0. So if you strike, the face at which you're going to be submitting from is going to change. Well, it could not change, but the odds, you know what I mean. So that's it for strike recovery, and I've shown off how to do the module. I do believe that I have no further business here, so I'm going to go ahead and end the tutorial. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.